Hey, my friend, how you feeling during this shifting time? I had created an entirely new video, but this one felt important to come forward. So I actually paused what I did, set up right here, and I'm sharing a message with you right now. If you're going through a profoundly shifting, transformative time where a lot of things are on its head, this message is for you. And whether or not we have talked before, I'm sharing this message right now because I understand that many people are feeling increasingly disconnected from themselves and others, while at the same time, paradoxically, likely also feeling an increase of inner connection or inner coherence in other areas of their life. So I put together this video as a message to find you across time and space, to meet you authentically in a moment where a lot of change is happening, and to offer a few perspectives for you at this time, person to person, being to being, heart to heart. I'm Danielle Lynn, and I share messages across time and space with super cool people such as yourself. And you don't have to believe in any specific thing to consider the message of this particular transmission right now. Because every single one of us who finds this message can relate to the understanding of going through deep transformation, of experiencing the unknown, of having our lives turned on their heads at one point or another in time. There can be this tendency when this happens to want to immediately go to the mind and find answers, or to hop onto YouTube and find answers, or whatever your search engine of choice is. And this is a time where finding external answers is likely not going to provide deep satisfaction, where going to spiritual tools and trainings and techniques to try and feel better is likely not going to address the root source of the disorientation that is felt. Because the transformation that's happening within us and in the world around us is happening at a foundational level. It's happening at an origin point level. I would go so far as to say that anyone who feels drawn to watch this video has crossed a certain threshold within themselves where they're no longer willing to compromise their values, to live in a way that is out of alignment for them anymore. Meaning you're not willing to say yes to jobs, relationships, and situations and ways of living that seem to, I will say the word, violate your very being, your very soul, your very spirit. And yet you may still be in a place of unknowing of how to reconcile that with responsibilities, with things going on in your life, with situations and other things that may be emerging right here and right now. I would even say for those who have vast amounts of experience and knowledge at this time, there may still be a lingering sense of unknowing emerging in you right now, and that's all right too. A few key reflection points I'm offering right now. One, you don't need to try and solve everything with your mind or your brain. We are people, beings who live in the present moment. Your mind can assist you in figuring things out, but most of what you're going to experience in life, you're going to understand it through living it. You're going to understand it through presence and embodiment and doing the thing. We can use our mind a bit to give some initial prep work. I usually say give it 10, 15 minutes even. If it's a bigger vision, give it a day. But at some point, you got to just take the iterative step. You got to live the life. You got to experience the possibility of things not going right. You got to experience the possibility of making mistakes, of making left turns, right turns. When we try to over-perfectionalize our experience, we sometimes end up delaying it or procrastinating it or not living it at all. And this isn't so much a call to be reckless and close your eyes and just jump into the wind, but It's a reminder that you don't have to wait for the perfect moment to tap into the present moment and ask yourself what is actually most alive in you right now, even beyond any feelings of fear, doubt, or uncertainty. What is ready to be lived and expressed in you? Because that represents the ember or the fire that is alive within you beyond any BS, beyond any old, outdated stories that are now falling away. These embers within you are rising. And combined with this presence that you have of no longer compromising on things that you may have once compromised on, they create a potent combination. It's like a tinderbox. It's like suddenly it's about to catch flame. But I also want to remind you, it's not so much about having to do or force your way through life. You are literally reconfiguring the way that you approach life from the inside out. Life begins with our inner game, and it's carried out through the repeated iterative actions that we live each day. If you overthink each day, you're probably going to have a tendency to overthink the next day. If you get curious each day, you're going to cultivate the seed of curiosity. If you give yourself permission to create a window of even 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, cultivating something that matters to you and that you love, then you're going to create the pattern of every day having a space where you're cultivating something you love. You get to have the experiences you're having, authentically feeling the feelings you're feeling, authentically going through the experiences and the ups and downs. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to rewrite the story. You're allowed to have beliefs, drop beliefs. I'm simply bringing this message forward because once again, in a time of so much change where people can tend to want to grasp to meaning, to message, to idea, to dogma, to structures, and to forms, please consider that this is the opportunity for you to evaluate the old forms and the old structures that might be outdated for you, and to initiate a seed of a new structure in your life. Something that originates from within you, not something that you're told to do, but something that gets to originate from within you. But it begins from meeting that uncertainty without immediately having to define it, by giving yourself the space to have presence even in the discomfort, so that there's enough silence so that you can feel the still small voice within you that becomes the loud voice within you, that becomes the echoes and the way you live your life. I've really appreciated this conversation with you, this connection point with you. If you would like to continue to receive messages from me, I invite you to check out my description link. There's some cool tools there. I got the flow book and other ways to connect with me. I invite you to do so if it calls to you, because this is a time of also connecting authentically with those who you resonate with. So let's bring our connections alive in all the ways that resonate with us. Talk soon.